black and blue, baby.
Well, you can feel the same way like you're touching the clock. Now tell them how that feels. Look, man, you can shop it at the mall and walk that full of them stunts. So tell them how that feels. Look, man, so you can change up your cars like you do with your bra. Now tell them how that feels. Look, man.
Curators of Dopeness.
Of Dopeness, man.
Yeah.
Break down that concept.
Oh, man, I'm glad you asked me. So, it's short. I'll keep the story short. So, me and my homeboy, we were in Atlanta, right? For A3C, the hip hop festival. And we're going to all these different, these different people talking and these podcasts and stuff. And we went to the Combat Jack show, RIP to Combat Jack. It was one of the last interviews he actually did. And he did it with Maceo from De La Soul.
Right.
And they were talking, man. It was a real good conversation. We in some bar off of Edgewood.
Right. And
they talking for about a good 2-3 hours. And he's just telling all the stories about how they connected with like NWA and how, they bonded with them and how you wouldn't think De La Soul, NWA, you think they're complete opposites, but they were actually best of friends on tour back in the day. But he said something that was so poignant to me. And I said, I told him to my homeboy, I was like, let's put a pin in that. We're going to use that for something. He was like, he was talking about the art. And he was talking about how he said we used to be curators of dopeness. Right. But now we just let anything through. And he was just talking about how, how it is now and how, there's no OGs. It was a standard. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it wasn't nothing wrong for an OG to come tap you on the shoulder and be like, nah, that's not how we do it. That ain't it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because the reason behind that is because that's how you make sure that the culture stays intact.
That's right. That's right. You got to keep it intact because they'll come in and you already see it. They poaching from it.
Right. You won't have nothing.
You won't have nothing.
Nothing when they get through with it. And that's a fact. But it seems like today in this time though that more people are understanding that concept now.
They are. And I think the internet has a lot to do with that and people just seeing more and being exposed to more. And then, people are realizing, especially after the pandemic, that, hey, we got to take care of our own and we got to take care of each other because, they not going to look out for us. They just going to leave you high and dry. So you might as well protect this little culture that you built when nobody wanted to mess with it and you got it out the mud and now you done shined it up to something nice. Now they want to come in and get a piece of it. Like,
everybody looking at it.
You got to curate that. It's just being an OG, being an elder, and just being protective of what's yours.
Now that energy and that passion, you put that into your clothing and into the design.
I do. So, I'm a thrifter. So, I don't necessarily design it, even though I'm actually looking to get into that, taking some, taking a bunch of old clothing, getting a seamstress, putting them together. But whenever I pick items, man, I just always try to pick items that pop, and things that just it'll accentuate what you got, It may not be like everyday clothing or whatever, but it'd be that one piece, You always, when you go out, you got to have that one piece that going to make them be like, okay, I see you. Whether it's your shoes, your hat, your shirt, a jacket, or something.
It's like, I see that. Yeah. And we were just talking about that how in the 70s, everybody had their individual taste and style. They came out on the scene. It wasn't a carbon copy.
70s was that way, 80s was that way, 90s was that way. That's what I grew up in, in the 90s. So it was always like if your homeboy had this shoe, you had to at least get a different colorway.
Right.
You know what I mean? You couldn't have the same.
Same thing.
You had the same.
Everybody had their individualism, but in a good way, though.
In a good way.
Self-expression.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it should be. And that's how I see clothing. Like, we call it wearable art. You know what I mean? So I try to pick stuff that's just art pieces. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just beautiful.
Because what people fail to realize is your person, when you walk outside your house, you on display.
Yeah, you on display.
So you might as well, look the part.
Yeah, look the part. Express yourself, represent yourself, whatever you believe. You know what I mean? Whatever your little style is. Like, man, it's beautiful. All the colors, man. We need it all, man. That's what makes us excited, man. Seeing people. It may not be something you wear, but I see stuff all the time. I'll be like, man, I like that. I like seeing it. It ain't really something I would wear, but
I like seeing it.
I like seeing it and I respect it.
Come on, man. That's definitely, man. That is something that's needed, especially when you get into the clothing world. Yeah. And those that you may know that are designers. It's a good thing to have clothes where people feel comfortable, feel proud. They feel proud about themselves, and they proud to wear it. You know,
that's where we come from.
That's who we are.
Our history from the jazz to the rock to the hip hop to all of that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes us as black people, we ain't had that much, right? But we always was fresh and we always smelled good and we always had that fresh cut. You know what I mean? You could at least take pride and control that.
Right, we was creative.
We was creative. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we didn't have much,
something out of nothing.
Something out of nothing. We gonna turn it this way or flip it this way. Yeah. And the funny part about it, but especially, and I don't want to get from clothing to food though, but at one point, you know, when we was eating oxtails, it was like cheap or whatever. Now it's a delicacy.
Oh yeah. Slave food to soul food, right? Yeah.
Happy once they find out about it. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's been that way for years, but entrepreneurs, business, you know, us as a people, doing business, having a business mind is very important that we can pass down to the next generation, because when you're doing hand-to-hand sales and you meeting people, talking to people, it builds you up also.
It does. And I like to take the opportunity to build other people up too. Right. You know what I mean? Like I like to build all people up, you know what I mean? But like specifically with our people, you know what I mean? We've been beaten down and mistreated so much. You know what I mean? I just always, every one of us I run into, if they open to talking, I try to leave them with something, a little gem. You know what I mean? Something they can take and use, or just an uplifting word, because you never know. I had a homeboy, one of my OGs, man. He was texting me the other day. I was wishing him Happy Father's Day. And he was like, man, I really appreciate your words 5 or 6 years ago. Like, you saved my life.
Oh, man, dude.
And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? You just thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, I love you too. He's like, no, man. He was like, I was telling you I was going through he's going through a divorce and all that, and he was really going through it, and we'd talk about it every day. I was waiting tables at the time, and so we'd talk about it, and you know what I mean, I would just give him encouraging words just like he would give me encouraging words. And you know what I mean, I said to him, I was like, what about your daughters? And I don't even remember this, but like you know what I mean, when I'm moving about, that's just how I move, man. I'm just because you never know
what the spirit put on you.
What the spirit put on you.
You need that.
Sometimes people just need a word.
That's right. That word powerful, bro.
Oh, it's powerful. That power in the tongue.
It's power in that tongue.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, that word lifts you up and keep you going.
Yeah, you gotta speak it into existence. And there'd be a lot of times, man, I'd be doubting myself or whatever, and then somebody will come and just speak a word into me. And so that's what I try to do with everybody. I just try to be like, man, if I admire something about you, or you told me something, you may have thought it was little, but I take stuff from people all the time, like in a good way, and I'd be like, yeah, you gave me that piece of advice. I use that all the time. And I'll tell somebody, I'd be like, thank you. I'd be like, it was so profound to me. Right. You know what I mean? And like, I think, you know, you got to give people their flowers while they're here.
While they here.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's so important.
And that eliminates the hate.
It does.
At one time, you know, a lot of us were saying, well, people would know, but they wouldn't share the information or the knowledge and watch you bump your head, right? Because they thought that it wasn't enough for everybody.
Yeah, they just thinking it's just me, and they, you know what I mean? They just want to be the ace. But one thing, man, I found out, you know what I mean? And I love speaking about black people, and I love bigging us up. You know what I mean? I love bigging up all peoples and all cultures. Right. But being around all peoples and all cultures, it helped me to appreciate my own more, and to see what we had that they didn't have, and vice versa. You know what I mean? What we were lacking.
Exactly.
And they've conditioned us for two things. They condition us not to talk to each other.
Right.
And then when we do talk to each other, they condition us not to trust each other. And so I say if we start doing both, everything else will start to fall into place.
That's
so
right.
It ain't nothing for me to share information, because I can't do every idea.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I ain't a director, but if I see something, you know what I mean, that's a good directing idea, or somebody takes me something, I'm gonna pass it along to you.
Pass it on. That's right.
Because at the end of the day, like Curators of Dopeness, like it's just about like being in the place to be. You know what I mean?
I like that
name,
you just,
man. You know how you always want to go to that show.
That's
you know what I mean? Go to that club, go to that concert.
That spot,
yeah. That's you know what I mean? That's what it's about.
That's right. Showing up at the spot and feeling the energy and feeling the vibe.
Yeah, feeling the energy and feeling the vibe, being present. Because don't nothing happen unless you show up.
Don't nothing happen unless you show up.
You gotta show up.
And definitely, as I said, vibe. Yeah. Vegan vibes. July 3rd. Make sure you all in the house. Come feel that energy and that vibe, man.
You got to. It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
It's your birthday?
It's my birthday.
310
it's going down.
Yes, it's going. We gonna party. Hey, John, come out and party for Nique's birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, and be a part of the Curators of Dopeness movement.
We're gonna have the vegan food. We're gonna have artists, DJs, skate competition, vendors, art, fireworks. Man, what else?
Fireworks. Right here in the city of Houston,
yes, sir.
Ravens Tower, 310 North Street, July 3rd. Make sure you in the building, bro. Nick, I sure appreciate you sitting down spending time with me, bro.
Man, thank you.
Yes, sir, man. It don't stop. Verbal Prick Radio.
Yes,
we out.